She's 7 months old, so she doesn't know what we're saying. Actually, wait, let me rewind. She does know we're praying. She always knows we're praying. She's always calmed down when we go to pray. But I think to myself, if I'm praying to her, Our Father, who art in heaven, right? I'm sort of praying at her, which means I don't need it. Because I'm not praying to God. I'm praying at her. Which sometimes happens in church. Don't be turned off by this. If 90% of the church is praying at each other, or I'm praying to make sure that this person doesn't look at me weird, or I'm praying and making sure the hymn is said right, or I'm praying and this and that, don't be turned off by that. Focus. This is our aim. For us all to engage the words seriously, sincerely, and this is where my little blurb on emotion comes in. To Abuna's point, yes, I don't go to liturgy to be stimulated emotionally, right? To just get an emotional high. And that if I didn't get an emotional high, it didn't work. Same with prayer at home. If I don't get an emotional high, it didn't work. I didn't benefit from prayer. I understand this part of the need for emotion. But on the other side, it doesn't mean stand there like a statue that's sort of lifeless. I pray when what is on my heart is what is on my lips. When I finally reach that area in me that I am emotionally engaged, but careful what I mean by emotion. I don't mean emotional high. I mean that I'm meaning what I'm saying. It's a basic level. Of course, you mean what you say. But that is a level that is not to be ignored in ritual. So we say to Abuna, Ketov Matiso, and with your spirit, peace be with you all and with your spirit. Say it sincerely. Pray for Abuna. You don't like Abuna? Pray that you start liking Abuna, right? Nothing can stand in the way of sincere engagement. You like this Abuna, and there's another Abuna that you used to pray with 10 years ago, and you miss him. Pray for him too. Pray for the heavy burden that's on the clergy. But don't say it empty. And by saying don't say it empty, I also don't mean stop saying anything you don't mean. I mean say it and mean it. Right? You can't say enough and with your spirit to the clergy. You can't say enough with the burden that they have, right? And they're bearing with the people and the service that's needed and the weaknesses in priests and the strengths in priests and the chaos of the people. You can't say and with your spirit enough. And thus goes. You can't say, Lord, have mercy enough. Right? Don't tell me repetition and I know what you're going to say and we said it last week. We can't say we have them with the Lord enough. Boy, do I need a reminder to lift up my heart. Am I lying every time I say that? Right? And my heart is with the Lord? Well, it's okay if it's not. That's a reminder. Get it with the Lord. And so on. The kiss of peace. Am I begrudged with anybody? Well, am I following the commandment to go make amends with my brother and sister before coming? Right? Am I reviewing myself weekly to make sure that I don't have these grudges? And thus, you can think of so many examples. And I'm sure each of you have a particular prayer within the liturgy you've engaged so wholeheartedly that we should just go around and ask you guys, how have you engaged this component of the liturgy? Because that's what's needed. You see, the liturgy, this is what it means for liturgy to become life. It is these words that Mina mentioned are scripturally based, theologically based, which doesn't mean what it sounds like. Theology is not this academic study of no. It is this life with God. So it is theologically charged. This is what we need. And so it's beyond the shadow of a doubt that when someone comes and tells you, oh, your liturgy is long and boring, and you have a living answer, right? You have well, have you ever, you could get lost in one part of the Our Father and just pray at the rest of the liturgy. It's just so full, but there's nothing that cannot be engaged in a way that does not mend the world. And I mean that very fundamentally. The world needs mending. The world is broken. Our serious engagement with these words, O God, the great, the eternal. Engage the eternal God, the one in whom I am growing. Start, pray, engage it. This is what's needed. And you see now, no longer saying learn the hymns, no longer saying learn the procedures. That stuff is expected. That stuff is done. And it's still always being learned. And I need to, the more I memorize the liturgy and memorize the hymns, the more I'm able to get into this second stage.